give us peace now and always. Amen.
Nomination and election of the Honourable Speaker of the Parliament.
Thank you. I now call for the nomination of the election of the Speaker of the Parliament. Nominations are now open.
Madam Clerk, I rise to nominate Mrs. Catherine Ebanks-Wilkes, representative for the constituency of West Bay Central, as to the post of Speaker of this Honourable House.
The Honourable Premier has nominated the elected member for West Bay Central. Does the elected member for West Bay Central accept the nomination?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I accept the nomination.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I beg to nominate the member for Red Bay, Sir Alden McLaughlin, as Speaker of this House.
There is a nomination by the Honourable Leader of the Opposition for the elected member for Red Bay. Does the elected member for Red Bay accept the nomination?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I humbly accept the nomination.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? If there are, sorry.
Madam Speaker, based on the matter of procedure, should not be seconded. Of abundance of caution, so that if the votes
Yes.
come, it'll be a valid acceptance.
I apologise. Can I have a seconder to the motion that was moved by the Leader of the Opposition?
Madam Clerk, I second the nomination of Sir Alden McLaughlin from the constituency of Red Bay.
Thank you. So the nomination has been moved by the Leader of the Opposition and seconded by the Deputy Leader of the Opposition, and the nomination has been accepted by the elected member for Red Bay. Are there any other nominations?
Move that nominations be closed.
The motion by the Honourable West Bay West, that the nominations now be closed. All those in favour, please say aye.
Madam Speaker, I hate to stand up again, as I'm not really the Speaker, I have any intention to be the Speaker, but the member is a member of the government backbench, based on where he's sitting. It needs to be seconded.
Yes, thank you. Can I have a seconder to the motion moved by the West Bay West that the nominations now be closed?
Madam Clerk, I second the motion.
Thank you. The motion that the nominations now be closed have been moved and seconded. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. All those against, no. The nominations are now closed. Since we have more than one nomination to the position of Speaker of the Parliament, we will now proceed by ballot. If everyone could give us a couple of minutes for us to prepare the ballot papers, please stay in your seats. Thank you. The Sergeant at Arms will now show the members the empty ballot box, and the ballot papers will be distributed to everyone. I ask that you only nominate one person on the ballot paper, please.
Madam Chair, I'm getting my exercise this morning. Can I just have on a point of elucidation, who is chairing the election of the Speaker? By action, is it you or is it the longest serving member in Parliament, as what is stated in Erskine May, the 24th edition?
It is myself.
Might I inquire based on the locus standi? Because I would ask you to refer to Erskine May, at least starting from page 170.
Honourable members, I certainly appreciate the thought and the correctness of the Honourable Minister of Education. Been a long time I haven't been able to vote. I won't vote.
Where's my other sheet?
Madam Clerk, while members seem to have quite a puzzled look on their face, so that the one thing is subjective, with page 170, 8.8 of Erskine May's, which our standing order says that if it's silent, that we refer to Erskine May. It says the Commons then proceed to the election of the Speaker. In accordance with Standing Order 1, the senior backbencher resumes their place. The member taking the chair under those circumstances is granted all the powers which would be exercisable by the Speaker if, following a decision to relinquish that office during the course of a session, the Speaker presiding over the election of the successor. Under the procedure of the Standing Order, if at the commencement of Parliament, a member who was the Speaker at the dissolution of the previous Parliament is returned to the House, and I would ask members to look at it, because what I'm reading everybody should have access to, and it is willing to be chosen more than once as Speaker, the question is that they take the chair of the House as a Speaker and is moved by a single member, the question is then put forward, and it goes on to where the Speaker, once elected, give thanks, etc. So basically, it is respectfully tautological reasoning. If the longest serving member of the House, which he has the right to consent not to take the chair, it doesn't mean that it falls in the clerk. There's a specific conventional reason why the clerk should not sit it, because there could be questions that has to be answered. The clerk does not have the locus standi to rule on that. And so it would go down to the next serving member. If that person doesn't want it, it would be the next serving member, but it has to be a member of the House. I'm not going, so I won't vote too. Make them go. All them. Well, he had give it to the next serving one then. We can't give it to a non-elected person. Make my horses go. I'm not going. I won't vote. or him. Yeah, but they say no, then it could be him, might be you. So you had that. That's why when you. I'm not sure.
Madam Clerk, honourable members, I'm at the will of the House. If the House thinks it fit that I should go in the chair as the father of the House, and the government wants that, then I will do so. But it's up to them.
Can I have a motion for the longest serving member of the Parliament to preside over the election of the Speaker of the House?
I rise to move a motion that the longest serving member being the member of West Bay West to preside over the sitting of the election of the next Speaker of the House.
Thank you. The motion has been moved by the Minister of Tourism. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. All those against? Ayes have it. Honourable Member for West Bay West, can you take your seat at the Speaker's dais? Sorry, Clerk's dais.
Can I give my proxy to one of the members? I had already marked my ballot. How long did you go there? Honourable members, the clerk has made a point, and I don't know if the House wishes to take that. That is that we start from the beginning for the process. Agreed? All the way, do we mean do we need to start with the nominations again? Thank you. I now call for nominations for the election of the Speaker of the Parliament. Nominations are now open. Honourable the Premier.
Thank you, sir. I rise to move to nominate rather, the member for West Bay Central, Ms. Catherine Ebanks Wilkes, as the Speaker of this Honourable House.
Nominations have been made. Are there any other nomination? I was going to take the two together, but Honourable Member for West Bay Central, are you accepting the nomination?
Yes, I accept the nomination. Thank you.
Nomination has been accepted. Are there any other nominations? The Honourable the Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, I beg to nominate the member for Red Bay, Sir Alden McLaughlin, as Speaker of this Honourable House.
The member for Red Bay has been nominated. Is there a seconder? The Honourable the Deputy Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I rise to second the nomination for Sir Alden McLaughlin, constituency of Red Bay, as Speaker of this Honourable House.
The Honourable Member for Red Bay, are you willing to accept the nomination?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I humbly accept the nomination.
Nominations have been made. Are there any other nominations? If not, can we have a
No. First order of business on the paper is election of the Speaker. No other business.
Oh.
What? No, it just said it's scrutiny. It just doesn't say how many. Convention.
Can I ask for a motion to close the nomination? The Honourable the Deputy Premier.
Morning. I move that nominations be closed.
Motion has been made for nominations to be closed. Are all in favour?
Aye.
Those against? The ayes have it. Nominations are now closed. So we go through the process again for the vote. Do you keep the paper you have? Are you satisfied with that? And still nobody want to take my vote? I think just give us a few minutes then to collect. That's where we're at.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, is it not required that scrutineers be appointed?
Yes, well,
Yeah, it's there. It's there to be done.
I think you'll get to that part of it next, after we collect them, we'll appoint the scrutineers. There's one other matter, and again, the clerk has brought it to my attention, but I don't know if there's a rule that actually stops the chair in this instance from casting his vote. So out of abundance of caution, we'll leave as is, as normal that the presiding officer do not vote. We leave as is. One more time that you take me my vote. Please bear in mind we need one from. Let me inquire from the House. Do you want one from either side to be, or do you want the two clerks to be the scrutineers? Or the AG, not the AG, and the deputy acting governor? Is that okay?
Mr. Chair.
The Honourable the Minister of Tourism.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As per the standing orders, it would normally be the AG and the acting deputy, or the deputy governor. And since the Parliament has not been called to order to swear in the acting deputy governor, ultimately from an authority perspective, only the AG is able to preside as a scrutineer. So I would suggest that the AG and the clerk, one of the clerk members, be the two scrutineers as per the standing orders that is necessary for two. Mr. Chair,
Member for Red Bay.
it's been a while since we've done this, but as far as I recall, the appointment of the scrutineers requires a resolution of the Parliament, so that this Parliament resolves that the Honorable Attorney General and whoever else it is are appointed scrutineers for the purpose of conducting the election of the Speaker.
The point has been made that
it can't be, Mr. Chairman, it can't be that a member gets up and says, I want so-and-so and I want so-and-so. It must be a resolution of the House.
But certainly we can take that suggestion in the form of a resolution, and that's what I was taking it as, and the member did make a very valid point. The point is that the House has not been called as yet, and therefore the deputy governor is not in the seat and has not been appointed as such. So, at this point in time, rather than me receive any more licks from the bunch of you, let me ask the AG to make a ruling. I don't think that our standing orders is saying anything in that regard, though. However, yes. I think our standing orders are silent, and I don't recall that we've done as a member for Red Bay suggested the last couple of times. But I think it leaves to the House to accept that way forward, and the way forward is for a member to make a nomination as to who would be. And at this point, rather than hold up this House any longer, I'm going to ask that a motion be made to nominate the AG and someone else. The clerk. And so at this point,
Mr. Chair,
the Honorable Minister of Culture.
to prevent any future games or stuff being said that is not so, maybe we nominate the Premier and they nominate the Leader of the Opposition and they can scrutinize it. Simple, so everybody
No.
from side. Simple. If that make him happy.
Yes. That would be a very clear accept that they are voters in this process. I am really not as the presiding person here. I am not satisfied that we should go the route of putting someone as a scrutineer that is not yet a member of the House. The clerk is more official than the deputy governor at this point in time, and I would ask the House to bear with me and the government and the opposition to allow that nomination to go forward. There will still be a nomination for the Attorney General and the clerk to be the scrutineers.
Mr. Chairman, I have no objections.
Mr. Chair, with that being said, I would like to move a motion to nominate the Honourable Attorney General and the Clerk of the Parliament to be the scrutineers of the voting process for the new Speaker of this Honourable House.
The motion has been made that the Attorney General and the Clerk be our scrutineers. All those members in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those against? The ayes have it. Our scrutineers are the Honourable Attorney General and the clerk. Yes. Oh, you can do so? Okay. The Honorable Catherine A. Ebanks Wilkes. The Honorable Catherine A. Banks Wilkes. The Honorable Catherine A. E. Banks Wilkes. What do we do next? A blank ballot paper. Joey, go down bend down. The Honorable Sir Alden McLaughlin. The Honorable Sir Alden McLaughlin. Honorable Catherine A. E. Banks Wilkes. Honorable Sir Alden McLaughlin. The Honorable Sir Alden McLaughlin. The Honorable Catherine A. E. Banks Wilkes Tally. The Honorable Catherine A. E. Banks Wilkes. Honorable Sir Alden McLaughlin, Tally. The Honorable Catherine A. E. Banks Wilkes. The Honorable Sir Alden McLaughlin. The Honorable Catherine A. E. Banks Wilkes. The Honorable Catherine A.E. Banks Wilkes. The Honorable Catherine A.E. Banks Wilkes, tally. What you got? 6. Answer, Kathy. Results? The results, therefore, are the Honorable Catherine A.E. Banks Wilkes, 10. The Honorable Sir Alden McLaughlin, 6. 1 blank ballot paper. Therefore, the Honorable Speaker of this Parliament is, by vote, Honorable Catherine A.E. Banks Wilkes. I shall now resume my seat on the back bench.
Motion to invite His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Martin Roper, OBE, to administer the oath of due execution of office to the Honourable Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I rise to move a motion to invite His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Martin Roper, OBE, to administer the oath of due execution of office to the Honourable Speaker.
Motion has been moved. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. All those against, no. The ayes have it. And then we'll wait the arrival of His Excellency the Governor. Oath of due execution of office administered to the Honourable Speaker by His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Martin Roper, OBE.
I, Catherine E. Banks Wilkes, do swear that I will well and truly serve His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, and the people of the Cayman Islands in the office of Speaker of Parliament of the Cayman Islands. So help me God.
The election of a new speaker is a big and important moment in the history of any jurisdiction. So I just very briefly want to pass on my warmest congratulations to our new speaker, the Honourable Catherine E. Banks Wilkes. And I know it's a big personal achievement for you, but it's an important moment for our jurisdiction. And I know I speak for everyone wishing you every success, and we will provide you with every support that we can. So many, many congratulations.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you.
We'll just give the Speaker a few minutes to robe and return. At that point in time, Parliament will officially commence.
This Honourable House is now in session. Please be seated.
Administration of oaths or affirmations, oath of allegiance, and due execution by Mrs. Gloria McField-Nixon, the Honourable Acting Deputy Governor, responsible for the portfolio of the Civil Service, to be the temporary ex officio member of the Parliament of the Cayman Islands.
I now call on the Acting Deputy Governor to be sworn in as temporary ex officio member, who will take the oath at the clerk's dais. Please stand.
I, Gloria Michelle McField-Nixon, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to law, so help me God. I, Gloria Michelle McField-Nixon, do swear that I will well and truly serve His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, and the people of the Cayman Islands in the office of ex officio member of Parliament, so help me God.
On behalf of this Honourable House, I welcome the Honourable Temporary Ex Officio Member to take her seat.
Statement by the Honourable Speaker.
Before I proceed to the next order of business, I crave the indulgence of this Honourable House just to say a few words. Today I am filled with gratitude to have been appointed to the office of Speaker, which is a role that holds an enormous responsibility and authority. I thank God because I'm here today only because of Him. I'm humbled that members have bestowed their trust and confidence in me. Today I feel a great sense of pride to have been given the privilege to follow in the footsteps of 5 previous esteemed, strong female leaders of our country: the Honourable Sybil McLaughlin, the Honourable Edna Moyle, the Honourable Mary Lawrence, and last but not least, my fellow elected member for Cayman Brac East, the Honourable Juliana O'Connor Connolly, who has always displayed leading with a graceful force. As a female speaker, I want to publicly acknowledge all of their efforts, as each of them did their part to pave the way for female parliamentarians in our country. When I was first approached about accepting the nomination of Speaker, my first consideration was to the members that have more experience, and particularly the Minister of Education, who did a phenomenal job as Speaker. We often hear the Honourable Minister of Education refer to her children, and right now, they are her priorities. The second consideration was whether or not this would impact my duties to my constituency. And lastly, I considered the ongoing need to fill the vacancy of Speaker in order to provide stability to our newly autonomous Parliament, which has lots of items on the agenda to be actioned. As fate would have it, a friend of mine was led to share an interview that Speaker Lindsay Hoyle had with a reporter in the UK. The reporter asked him if he finds it hard to advocate for his constituents as Speaker, and he replied by a simple no. He stated that if he needs to advocate for his constituents, he may not be able to say it on the floor of the House, but he has frequent meetings with the Prime Minister, which means that he is able to express the issues of his constituency directly to the head of government. He also stated that he had more access for his people that he didn't have before. Whilst I've always had access to the government, what the words of Sir Lindsay did was give me comfort in knowing that I can still advocate for my constituents of West Bay Central by continuing to work in close daily proximity with heads of government and their ministers. I will have the same benefit to deal with matters at their first and final stages. It was at that stage that I was willing to embrace this opportunity that I had no idea would approach me so early in my political career. I acknowledge the tremendous importance of this position and the need for the Speaker to preside over this House in a matter where fairness is apparent by both sides of this House. I give this House and this country my solemn undertaking that I will discharge my duties diligently, firmly, and fairly. As the former Speaker, Ms. Edna Moyle, stated in her maiden speech, and I quote, "The office of Speaker is an ancient and honorable one, steeped in tradition and convention. It is an intricate feature of our system of governance, and the proper exercise of the functions of this office is critically important not only to the operations of the Legislative Assembly, but ultimately to democracy itself. It is an awesome responsibility and a position of trust. It is the duty of the Speaker to ensure that fairness, decorum, and decency in the Legislative Assembly and that democracy flourishes. Democracy is not just about majority rule, it is also about minority rights. Certainly, it is the duty of the Speaker to facilitate the work of the government and to ensure that the business of the House gets done in an efficient manner. But importantly, it is also the duty of the Speaker to protect the rights of the minority and to insist that the voice of the opposition in the House is not stifled. Adequate opportunity must be given to the members of the opposition to make their points as forcefully as they deem fit within the bounds of common decency and parliamentary decorum," end quote. This quote best describes for me the impartial nature that the Speaker must possess, and I give an undertaking to this honorable House that I will be fair, and I too will follow in the footsteps of our previous speakers. I also give a commitment to go further than to aspire to lead with integrity and competence, as it is an obligation as leaders, certainly my obligation as Speaker, to maintain the highest standards of ethical conduct, to continue to serve our people with dignity. Our people expect that we maintain the integrity and competence of the parliamentary profession. The role of the Speaker is not just that of a presiding officer, but also one that should be focused on making it easier for the people of this country to engage with Parliament by improving the operations of Parliament and also by enhancing the office of Speaker. I will work closely with our very capable clerk, Ms. Zina Marin, and the parliamentary team. We will focus to improve access to information and make it easier for the community to engage with this House of Parliament, to learn about the current affairs and our rich parliamentary history. This will be done by launching a much-needed new website and creating a greater social media presence. As Speaker, I want to do my part to encourage people to get involved. Every member values the attitudes of our voters to specific issues and political participation. And we are a government with people, and we're for the people. And these tools will give the public added power to make a positive difference in our community. To the public, I want to encourage everyone watching or listening to participate in the development of your country, express your opinions on the world and how it is governed, and take part in it by shaping the decisions that affect you. As I mentioned, once the new website is launched, this information will be easier to access and also understand. As I approach the closing of my remarks, I want to take a moment to acknowledge my predecessor, the former Speaker from the West Bay West constituency. We thank him for his long service of over 40 years to his constituency and to the Cayman Islands, especially for his speakership for the past 5.5 years and all of his involvement with getting our Parliament to an autonomous standing. I also want to thank my colleague, the Honourable Minister for West Bay South, for allowing me to take part in much of the journey in financial services since election. I've thoroughly enjoyed the many meetings, both local and international, and I certainly feel that I have benefited from this experience. I'm confident that the Minister is able to continue to take our financial services to a position of excellence as he continues to change the false perception that has been hanging over the Cayman Islands for far too long. To the Minister of Education, I thank you so much for your mentorship and for taking the time to explain many processes and procedures to me. Most importantly, thank you for always leading by example, a woman of grace that is a force to be reckoned with, and I think we all seen that here this morning. I once again humbly thank all elected colleagues for their belief and confidence in me in this role. This is indeed a significant achievement in my political career, of which there is much for me to be grateful for. As former Speaker Nancy Pelosi recently stated, quote, "It is time to empower younger leadership," end quote. Today, this has been done in the Cayman Islands. To the people of the Cayman Islands, I will strive to always walk in the steps of all of our national heroes, and I vow to unconditionally serve the people of the Cayman Islands in the House of Parliament and to honor the words of our national hero, the Honourable Sybil McLaughlin, quote, "Whatever you do, do your best," end quote. Thank you.
Nomination and election of the Honourable Deputy Speaker of the Parliament.
Thank you. I now call for nominations for the election of the Deputy Speaker of Parliament. Nominations are now open.
Madam Speaker, thank you. It's been a while since I've had to use that term. Thank you. I rise to nominate the member for Bordentown East as the Deputy Speaker.
Does the elected member for Bordentown East accept the nomination?
Madam Speaker, I honourably accept this nomination. I thank the Premier for doing so.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. That sounds good. Congratulations, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
But I do rise to nominate the member for Georgetown South as Deputy Speaker of this Honourable House.
Does the elected member for Georgetown South accept the nomination? Oh, sorry. Is there a seconder?
Madam Speaker, I rise to second the nomination for the member of Georgetown South as Deputy Speaker.
Thank you. Does the elected member for Georgetown South accept the nomination?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I humbly accept the nomination.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations?
Madam Speaker, I move the nomination be closed.
Can I get a seconder to that motion?
Madam Speaker, I second that motion.
All those agreed that nominations be closed, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Nominations are now closed. As there is more than one person being nominated as the Deputy Speaker, we will now have to proceed by way of ballot. Therefore, we ask that you give us a few minutes as we prepare the ballot papers. Also ask for members to remain in your seats. While members are voting, I would ask the Honourable Attorney General and the Honourable Acting Deputy Governor to attend the clerk's dais to act as scrutineers. I'd ask for a motion to appoint the scrutineers.
Have to recognize.
Recognize the scrutineers.
No, me. You didn't give me.
A call on the Honourable Leader, call on the Honourable Deputy Premier.
Madam Speaker, it's good to see you up there in that wig and that gown. I'm really, really proud of you. Madam Speaker, I rise to move that the Honourable Attorney General and the Honourable Acting Deputy Governor be scrutineers as per the standing orders.
Do I have a seconder for that motion? You don't need it. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those against? The ayes have it. I'll now call on the scrutineers as the ballot boxes are in. Ask for the Honourable Acting Deputy Governor to unlock the box and hand the clerk the ballots as she reads the votes.
Miss Barbara E. Connolly. Mr. Dwayne S. Seymour. Mr. Dwayne S. Seymour. Miss Barbara E. Connolly. 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 Mr. Dwayne S. Seymour. Mr. Dwayne S. Seymour. Miss Barbara E. Connolly. Mr. Dwayne S. Seymour. Mr. Dwayne S. Seymour. Mr. Dwayne S. Seymour.
The result of the ballot is Mr. Dwayne S. Seymour, 10, Ms. Barbara Connolly, 6. It is my duty to announce that the elected member for Bodden Town East is hereby elected as the Honourable Deputy Speaker of Parliament. I look forward to working with the Deputy Speaker in this new capacity.
Government business, motions. Government motion number 2 of 2022-2023.
Miss, sorry. I beg your indulgence to just say a thank you.
You're welcome. You like to say a few words?
Yes, Madam Speaker. I just wanted to say, just wanted to thank the Premier for nominating me and thank the members who voted for me. This is a long journey and one that couldn't be done without my faith in God. And I want to again thank all my colleagues, but to single out my friend, Honorable Juliana O'Connor-Connolly, for her guidance. I want to thank Deputy Premier Chris Saunders and Honorable Kenneth Bryan and Honorable J. Johanny Ebanks for allowing me to act on their behalf and to be their PS. It has definitely been very encouraging.
Honourable Member for Bodden Town East.
Sorry.
I think there will be an opportunity for you to give remarks a bit later down in the proceedings.
Yeah, it was just wrapping, really.
Please proceed.
Sorry. Thank you, Madam Speaker. The people of Bodden Town East, thank you for your recognition that I am the representative that can reach different levels and representing this country in Bodden Town East to the highest degree. This elevation, as I call it, will allow me to represent you better. I thank the scrutineers. I also congratulate you, Madam Speaker, in being elected as Speaker. And I thank my family for tolerating me. God bless you all. God bless this country.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Madam Speaker, I just wanted to raise a matter with regard to the the election, just counting the ballots. It seems to me that there were 16 ballot papers, but there's 17 eligible to vote. I mean, there are 19 here, 19 of us, you unable to vote, and we had one absentee?
Have one blank paper, one abstained. I will acknowledge in relation to the votes that there was one blank ballot paper and one abstain, 10 votes for Mr. Dwayne Seymour and 6 votes for Ms. Barbara Connolly.
Madam Speaker.
Honourable Member for Georgetown Central.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just a matter of clarity to help the proceedings. I think that there was a ballot that was not submitted rather than an abstention. I do not think, if the record is is being shown to you as an abstention, that would be, in my humble opinion, ill-advised and incorrect. There were 10 votes for the now Deputy Speaker and 10 votes for the nominee, and 6 votes for the nominee, which should be recorded as such. And the one that is recorded as absent cannot be recorded as absent unless you're notifying that it's absent because they did not receive it. We are all well aware in the House that a member has chosen not to vote, therefore a ballot was not in the box. And we are just trying to have this for the note and the Hansards in the future if somebody questions the fact of the numbers not adding up as the Leader of Opposition has done. So hopefully that would help clarify for Hansard's purposes that there was nothing wrong in this process. All members have a right to choose not to vote if they want to. It's not a dictatorship, and therefore that should give enough clarification as to the process.
Thank you, Member for Georgetown Central. I've also asked that the document be recorded or amended to reflect absent rather than abstain. For the avoidance of doubt, we have one person who did not vote here today, and we have one person who was absent. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, so that members can wrap their head around what just transpired, I had every intention to vote. It was given to me based on my interpretation of the proceedings not going correctly. I then made the decision, as I have the constitutional right to do, not to partake in that aspect of the proceeding. Abstentions can be expressly or implied. I implied an abstention.
Thank you for your explanation, Honourable Member.
Government business, motions. Government motion number 2 of 2022-2023, change in membership of the Public Accounts Committee, to be moved by the Honourable Premier.
The Honourable Premier.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to move government motion number 2 of 2022.
The motion has been moved and is open for debate. Does the Honourable Premier wish to speak?
I will move the motion, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the motion is headed change of membership of Public Accounts Committee. Whereas paragraph 1 of Standing Order 77 provides there shall be a standing select committee to be styled the Public Accounts Committee to consider reports of the Auditor General, A, on the accounts of the government, B, on such other accounts required to be laid before the House as the committee may think fit, and C, on any matter incidental to the performance of his duties or the exercise of his powers as the committee may think fit. And whereas the current Public Accounts Committee, in this motion referred to as the committee, was elected on Friday, 22nd April 2021 and comprised firstly the Leader of the Opposition, the elected member, Leader of the Opposition and elected member for Georgetown East, Honourable Roy McTaggart as chairman. Secondly, elected member for Georgetown South, Ms. Barbara Connolly. Thirdly, elected member for East End, Mr. Isaac Rankin. Fourth, elected member for Savannah, Ms. Heather Bodden. Fifth, elected member for Boddentown East, Mr. Dwayne Seymour. And sixth, yourself as elected member for West Bay Central. And whereas under paragraph 2 of Standing Order 80, the House is authorized to revoke the appointment of a member to a standing select committee and appoint another member in his or her place. Be it resolved that the Parliament revokes the appointment of the elected member for West Bay Central and elects the member for Georgetown North as member of the committee. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The motion has been moved and is open for debate. Does the Honourable Premier wish to speak thereto?
Just very briefly, Madam Speaker, this it is, of course, by standing orders, a requirement that the balance of the composition of the committee be primarily on the government side, with the, I think originally when the member for Boddentown East moved across, we would then have had an imbalance. We should have dealt with this issue previously, but given your elevation and election and elevation as the Honourable Speaker, this now gives us the opportunity to replace your position, Madam Speaker, with the member for Georgetown South to restore the appropriate balance as contemplated by the standing orders. Sorry, Georgetown North. Did I say so? Yeah. How could I get that wrong? You don't even have long hair.
Thank you. Does any other member wish to speak? The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, just to rise expressing our support for the motion before us as well, and to offer my thanks to the Premier for taking the opportunity this time to do so, to rebalance the Public Accounts Committee. So thankful to him and for bringing the motion.
Thank you. Does any other member wish to speak? The Honourable Member for Georgetown Central.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker. That sounds good. Yes, it does. Madam Speaker, my contribution to this motion is just simply to highlight for the record of this Honourable Parliament that though this motion has been read as to revoke your appointment from PAC, in normal traditions we would have given the opportunity as resignation by yourself rather than the Honourable House recording that you have been revoked, because it gives a negative connotation. But, Madam Speaker, considering the fact that we're all here in Parliament together, at the same time when you were appointed as the Speaker of this Honourable House, it is implied that the reason is there. But I want the record to show, by no means you were ever questioned about being revoked from this very important committee called Public Accounts Committee, but you had to leave on the basis of leading this country's House of Democracy forward. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Member for Georgetown Central. Does any other member wish to speak? Does any other member wish to speak? The question is, the Honourable Premier.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just thank members thank the member who spoke for clarity, and thank the other members for their tacit support.
Thank you, Premier. The question is, be it therefore resolved that the Parliament revokes the appointment of the elected member for West Bay Central and elects the elected member for Georgetown North as member for the committee. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, no. The ayes have it.
Can I have a division, please?
Sure. Madam Clerk, can I ask you to call for a division?
Honourable Wayne Panton.
Aye.
Honourable Christopher Saunders.
Aye.
Honourable Kenneth Bryan.
Aye.
Honourable Sabrina Turner. Aye. Honourable Johanna Ebanks.
Aye.
Johanny Ebanks. Honourable Andre Ebanks.
Aye.
Honourable Borny Bush. Absent. Honourable Juliana O'Connor Connolly.
Aye.
Honourable Dwayne Seymour.
Aye.
Mr. Isaac Rankin.
Aye.
Ms. Heather Borden. Absent. Honourable W. McKeever Bush.
I was not here when the vote was called. Therefore, I was not in my seat.
Apologies. Honourable Roy McTaggart.
Aye.
Honourable Joseph Hugh. Mr. Moses Kirkconnell.
Aye.
Ms. Barbara Connolly.
Aye.
Honourable Sir Alden McLaughlin.
Aye.
Mr. David White. Absent.
The result of the ballot is 14 ayes and 4 absentees. The ayes have it. Government motion number 2 of 2022 is duly passed. I will now call on the Honourable Premier to move the adjournment.
Madam Speaker, yes. Madam Speaker, I would rise to move the adjournment of this Honourable House, but before doing so, personally, I would wish to extend a few words to you by way of congratulation, and I'm sure other colleagues in this Honourable House would wish to do the same. Madam Speaker, it is a privilege and an honour to see yourself elected today as Speaker of this Honourable Parliament. I congratulate you, and I have every confidence, as I'm sure I can say on behalf of my government, that you will do an excellent job. You will perform the role admirably. You will you will maintain dignity and honour. And, Madam Speaker, I think the significance of today goes probably beyond yourself, as you noted earlier. It is a day which reflects younger people being able to participate at an elevated level within government. Madam Speaker, we had a couple of weeks ago a historic event in Cayman. It was the first time in which we had a female Chief Justice sworn in. And the significance, that was historic at that time. The significance today is equally historic in that we now have two arms of government being presided over by women in this country. I think, Madam Speaker, that is to be recognized, is to be celebrated. As the Minister for Gender Affairs, I am particularly happy about that. As Premier, I am very happy that it has transpired. I celebrate you, and I think I wish for the whole country to recognize the significance of this day and this event. Madam Speaker, I know you mentioned the concern around how you would be able to perform your role as Speaker, as well as maintain and improve your role as we go along as a representative for the people of West Bay Central. And you have referred to the words of no less than Sir Lindsay Hoyle and the challenge that he would face as Speaker of the House of Commons in the UK, and being quite a ways away from his own home constituency. Madam Speaker, I would like the people of West Bay Central to know that I have every confidence that you will be able to continue to perform your role as a representative of the people of West Bay Central, and you will have every support of the government in assisting and meeting their needs as well. I have indicated to you that I would be happy to meet with you regularly to ensure that that is happening, and I certainly intend to keep my word both to you and to the people of your constituency, your own constituents in West Bay Central. Madam Speaker, I don't want to prolong things because I'm sure other members will have a few words they would wish to express, but just to wrap up by saying congratulations again. I am personally very proud of you, and I'm expressing pride on behalf of the government of your elevation to this role, Madam Speaker. And I will say that I started my career for 4 years and beginning my contributions in this House with a reference to Madam Speaker. And as I stood earlier to refer to you as Madam Speaker, it certainly was a nostalgic moment. For me, it was one of those moments that took me back significantly. I'm really happy, even if I by God's grace or otherwise don't end up coming back here, if I can finish by referring to yourself as Madam Speaker for the rest of this term, I'm very happy. Madam Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to make those comments, and I wish to extend that to others as well.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I, on behalf of the opposition, join with the Premier in congratulating you on your elevation to this most important position and role within our Parliament. Like I said, when I first got up, it really sounded good to address the Speaker's position as Madam Speaker. And I've known you for so many years, Madam Speaker. From the time you were much younger, we were all much younger. And to see you grow up and to get to such a position of prominence, not just within this Parliament, but within the whole Cayman Islands, is indeed a very joyous time. It's a happy time. I know your family have got to be just over the moon proud of you and for what you have accomplished. So I pledge to you that I will work with you. And I pledge that we will give you the support that we know that you will need. And we will continue always to support you in your work here as well. And I wish you all the very best in your role as the Speaker of this Honourable Parliament. And may you have a very successful term and time here. And I hope you enjoy it, because it is, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, it's difficult to do the job. And so I really, I wish you the very best. That's all I can say in your work. And here to support you in fulfilling that role. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I call on the Honourable Member for West Bay West.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me add my congratulations to what has been said. I've known you for many years now. You were best friends with my only daughter, so I knew you from those teenage years. And on losing her, I counted you as one of my own. Just announced too that we are close enough family in that big West Bay. Numbers and numbers of close family. But from then, I knew you to be an intelligent young woman from those teenage years. And on being able to work with you these last, 1 year and more months, I know just how intelligent you are. This job comes with many demands, far too many, in fact, for these small islands, for people believe, without systems, that you are to be elected, you can be the Speaker, and then have nothing to say, but yet must tend to every need that is thrown at you because you are an elected person. Well, it don't work that way, because you are an elected person. The Speaker is an elected person and has that responsibility. That responsibility do not leave. And so, at times, you will find it challenging, but I am convinced that because I've seen how you work, I know you will rise to meet those challenges. I know that you can be where you are and that you will still represent the people of West Bay. I have at least 2 years left, I hope. And after that, I'm calling it a day. I'm done. 40 years, 10 years, 10 terms of being elected, 15 years of being directly involved is enough. And so I have announced I won't be running, but you could depend on my help in these next 2 years, plus and thereafter, to assist you in anything to do with West Bay Central. As we stand now, we work well together. You tend to, my people come to your office, your people come to my office. As they go West Bay South, they go West Bay North, and those people come to us. We still work as a good community ought to work, and as good elected colleagues ought to work. I hope we can maintain that stand. Madam Speaker, I've said and given you some advice, and I say that again, I say that last year, I said it the beginning of my term before that, we here should not leave our family out. And far too many people expect that. All these many years, my wife has never been on a public platform. Yet, she was my greatest asset as an elected person. She was my rock. She still is. We are moving up in age. I would be nearly 70 at the next election, God willing. I think I've done a lot of good. I've been crucified for some of it, lied about for much of it, and it will continue because our humanity is like that. Bad part members, remember what Gerard said when he was leaving here? Remember what he said? Let it not be so. He said, if a Caymanian cannot be the captain, he will go down in the engine room and wreck the rigging. That was a serious indictment on his departure. Let it not be so. We are too small. And we have moved on from much of that, but far too much of it. Too much glory in seeing this one trampled. Too much. Too much. I will continue to offer advice from the floor as I can at times, and ought to at times as a member. And I promise you my continued respect and continued assistance where I can. My friend, the Deputy Speaker, is a long-time friend. He grew up in our district. He was one of my footballers on one of my teams that I helped founded, and I was the sponsor of that team. And we got him into our party, and he has done well in serving his people. And I have no doubt that he will bring much to the post, to the office of Deputy Speaker. And so I want to congratulate both of you and offer you again my continued respect and my continued assistance where I can. So, Madam Speaker, part of my thoughts in knowing that I will not be pursuing the next election was to see you in the post. If we had the full support of our members to see another young person move forward. And that part has taken place. In the next 2 years, I hope to see a few more things done before calling it quits. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for the advice that you've given me. And I know that you're going to perform well. God bless you, God bless your family. And remember what I said, you have to take time for your family. Especially now, you want to have your mom. Even more so now. God bless.
Thank you. Call on the member for Bordentown East.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to quickly mention a few things in terms of the proceeding this morning. And I first want to thank the former Speaker, the Honorable William McKeever Bush, for serving this country in the many roles that he has over the years. And I want to publicly thank him for his service. Madam Speaker, you're smart, courageous, and passionate about Cayman and about fairness. And I've worked with you in the private sector many years ago. I've known you probably about over 30 years. And we are connected by family. And we've spent many family dinners together over the years. Even your spouse was a member of my football team in Bordentown many years ago. So connected in many ways. I'm here and I thank the House again for electing me as Deputy Speaker, and I will do whatever is necessary for this country to move along, and I want to work with you in a manner that has never been done before. And hopefully one day you will take a bathroom break and allow me to sit in a seat, unlike what the former Speaker didn't give you a chance. And thank God he walked out of the House so I can talk about him. That's what happens. He may come back in. But it was me who nominated a female for this post many years ago, 12 years ago, 13 years ago, the Honorable Mayor Lawrence. And yes, it does sound good saying, Madam Speaker, when I first came to the House. That is what I was used to, and got a little confused even after the first male got in the seat. But I thank you, my friend, and my family is in Bordentown is watching and cheering for you, and pray every day as you sit in that seat and be guided by God and the other members who have experience, whether it's from the opposition or from the government. Get all the advice you can. Thank you for this opportunity and allowing me to say these few words. God bless.
I thank the honourable member. The honourable member for Georgetown Central.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I won't try to be too long because all the members have highlighted some very important points about your journey to that chair. I think the record should show that it's well-deserved, that you have all the necessary qualification to honor that seat in every capacity necessary. But for the Hansards, I think it should be noted that when this government asks you to consider the post as Speaker, the first thing that came to your mouth was, I have to focus on the people of West Bay Central, and your questions about ensuring that they would be cared for and attended to, and that to ensure that us as a government addresses the issues that face them. And it told me from then your priority in respect to your role. Madam Speaker, I want to give my commitment as Minister of Tourism and Transportation and Tourism and Transport that I will do everything within my power to assist your constituents where sometimes you may not have the voice that you would like to have to address particular issues that would normally be addressed in caucus or on the floor of this House. But this sacrifice, which some would consider, is a sacrifice not only for West Bay Central, but for the Cayman Islands, Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Little Cayman, to be in that seat. And you can see the signs of it already, Madam Speaker, by the way of your address to ensure that the opposition has their fair say in the House of Democracy, which you now lead. Madam Speaker, I'm certain, as I was certain when I came to West Bay Central to stand on your platform to endorse you as a young, strong Caymanian educated woman, that you will do everything that you have said you would do for the people of West Bay Central, just right here in another capacity as the presiding officer of democracy in the Cayman Islands. So I congratulate you as a younger elected member like myself who are hoping to take the country forward in these senior roles, and I'll be happy to continue for the rest of this term to call you Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Prospect.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for your indulgence. And indeed, I join the chorus in celebrating this milestone and on this journey with you. I want to say that it is indeed an honor to stand here to actually address you as Madam Speaker. Our interactions over the past 18, 19 months has been a roller coaster as we both settle in our new roles that have been appointed by the people of the Cayman Islands. But prior to being officially elected into office, my first official interaction with you were actually on the airwaves. And I'll never forget that experience with you where we actually held each other up. We were both somewhat nervous, but quickly we pivoted and identified each other's strengths. And just as that was displayed in the public forum of women supporting women, I give you my word of supporting you in this journey as you elevate and continue to take care of us as now Madam Speaker of the House, and that delicate dance of remaining in an elected role and serving the people of West Bay Central. May God continue to bless you, guide you, and never, ever give up or doubt yourself. Embark on this journey, embrace it wholeheartedly, and the best is yet to come. Congratulations to you on your role, and to the Deputy Speaker, the Honourable John from West Bay. Oh, not West Bay, that's Boddentown East. As you embark as well in this new chapter of your life and in your elected capacity, and I extend the same wishes to you in your role, and we're all here to assist you. All the best.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. Honourable Member for Georgetown North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I will not be too long. There was a lot of talk about football earlier, and it reminded me that I have a very important 2 o'clock meeting. to attend. Madam Speaker, I rise to congratulate yourself on your elevation as the Honorable Speaker of this House, and also my friend and classmate across the aisle on his election as being elected as the Deputy Speaker. And truth be told, Madam Speaker, whomever had been democratically elected here today, I would be proud of, because we are all Caymanians and we're all one people. I do also want to point out the Honorable Leader just made a observation following up on the Premier's comments about the Chief Justice being sworn in as a female, and yourself as a young Caymanian woman today. But earlier we also swore in the Deputy Governor as a strong young Caymanian woman as well. I'm young, so. And so we have the three arms of the government all being led by women this morning. And very proud, and certainly hold each of you in the highest regard, and congratulations.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Georgetown South.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I'm happy to call you Madam Speaker. I rise to congratulate you as our Speaker of the House. And I'm also proud today to be a woman, a lady parliamentarian. And I just want you to know that I'm here to work with you, to assist you, because I once was there for a very brief time, and I learned quite a bit at that time. And I just want to say that I will support you in whatever you need going forward. But just to say that I stand here today just really being proud of our women parliamentarians. And I know Minister of Education, I worked with her, and it was a pleasure to work with her. And also our former Speaker of the House, Honourable Edna Moyle, rest in peace, but she's also my cousin. And a lot of people, you know, always refer to me as resembling Miss Edna. And I'm just so proud today to be a part of this Parliament, and to say that I just want to congratulate you again. Okay? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. The Honourable Member for East End.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, on behalf of my constituency and I from East End, I rise to offer my congratulations to you on your elevation to this role of Speaker of this Honourable Parliament. We met approximately 4 years ago, and we journeyed together on the road to being elected to this Parliament. It was not easy, because we know that we were up against more experienced parliamentarians than ourselves, but we did it. And with that same commitment of working with you, Madam Speaker, I also commit that I will continue working with you, and I will commit also to help in any way I can. I'm proud of you, Madam Speaker, very proud of you. And I wish you God's grace and mercies as you perform and lead this Honourable Parliament. I also want to take this time and congratulate the new Deputy Speaker, the member from Bordentown East, and his role to this position. I know that you'll both do the position well, and I just want to wish you both God's blessing. Thank you.
I thank the honourable member. The honourable member for West Bay South.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Very briefly, because I think I know the appointment the member for Georgetown North was referring to. I just wanted to say that on first hearing of your appointment, it was, as you alluded to in your statement, bittersweet for me personally, because I will sincerely miss you as a co-pilot parliamentary secretary in the area of financial services and commerce. You have been an extraordinary support. You know full well that there is a very strong civil service team in the Ministry of Financial Services and Commerce. But sometimes it's so good to have that person who understands the political nuances and be that co-pilot. So I will miss you in that regard. But having now the feeling of seeing you take the chair, I'm very proud of you. We've known each other for quite some time. In our 20s, the nocturnal activities that those in 20s get up to, and we didn't at that time appreciate until the run-up to your dearly departed father's service that we were actually family. And I think it's probably worth stating that he's probably looking upon you today very humbly and very proudly. So I look forward to working with you in this capacity as presiding officer, and I do hope that the member for Boddentown East does get breaks and is able to take the chair, and we also see that bit of balance. So congratulations, Madam Speaker.
I thank the honourable member. The Honourable Deputy Premier.
Madam Speaker, you know, as I watched you walk into the room, your robe and everything else, I said to myself, am I going to get more calls from Kathy or less? Almost just about every single day, Madam Speaker, you would call me for something for one of your constituents. And I think while you may have been the parliamentary secretary for the Ministry of Financial Services and also the Ministry of Education, the work that you also did in the Ministry of Labor was also a big help. And there were many things that you did behind the scenes that I'm sitting back and I'm going to wonder where I'm going to get the help from. Because that's the kind of person who you are, in the sense that you just help. And as much as you called on me, I also called on you many times to help also on different projects within my various ministries. Today, as I looked at your election as the Minister for Finance, and I haven't recently seen the Cayman's rating being reaffirmed by Moody's, they spoke of Cayman's political stability. And despite the political differences that may have happened in this House before, the public got to see right here today that once the vote was taken, all hands were on deck and everyone was fully supportive of you. And I think it's important for the public to recognize that despite our political differences, as the Deputy Leader of the Opposition stated, we're all Caymanians. The vote is taken, we have come together, and now we move on. Politics aside. As the Minister for Labor, it really punctuates to me the fact that we send a message today to all our young people that once you work hard, you apply yourself, and you're diligent, you can achieve anything. But the one thing that really hit me the most today, as a father who has a daughter who wants to be a lawyer, seeing you in that seat and the message that it would send to many young people, many young women in particular, it says something about us as a people here in the Cayman Islands. And it is important that we in this house as political leaders never ever forget that we should always make sure that we at all times strive to live our best life and show the best that Cayman has to offer. I also need to pause to pay congratulations to my comrade in struggle, my brother from my neighboring district of Bordentown East, the Honorable Dwayne John Seymour. John brings a lot of passion, and he genuinely cares, like yourself, Madam Speaker, about the people that he represents, not just in the district of Bordentown East, but also across the Cayman Islands, because I can tell you that there are many people, even my constituents, would still go to even John for help, and vice versa. People from his constituent would still come to me for help. But it goes to show that is who we are as Caymanians, and that at the end of the day, regardless of what, we can come together. I listened to the warm remarks of the Honorable Leader of the Opposition, and it was really moving, it was really touching. And I also want to publicly congratulate the Progressives for their 20 years of service to the country. I mean, at this point, they extended an invitation to myself and others to attend, and I was very happy to attend their concert along with the member from Savannah, and it was a really good concert. Carlene Davis was really, really good. But more importantly, the one thing I want to close on, and I want this to resonate not just to yourself, Madam Speaker, but to every member of this House. Politics by its nature is a contact sport. It's adversarial in nature, and times it can be quite dark. But at the start of every proceedings in this honorable parliament, we start off with a prayer before we even start conducting the business of this House. And if there's one thing I want to leave anyone with and everyone that's listening, it's from Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and those things shall be added unto you. And I think it's important for all of us in Cayman to remember that there are dark times ahead. There are challenges out there for our people. You know, inflation is not going to go away. We see the challenges that's happening in terms of the oil and everything else, and there are no, look at all of the different stuff that's going on around the world. And every morning, part of my routine is to actually read the different newspapers from the Caribbean to Europe to Africa to everywhere, just to see what's going on. And I want to say this, despite our challenges here in Cayman, let us not forget that this is still one of the best places on this planet to live and work. And Madam Speaker, I want to give you the commitment that as a member of this government, that your calls will definitely be answered now, as a Madam Speaker, even more, but that your constituent of West Bay Central, they need to also remember that as far as we're concerned, they're still Caymanians, they're still our people, and like any other constituency, we will make sure that they still get the resources or whatever it is that they need, and that the sacrifice that they have made in terms of putting their representative into a more neutral position will not be forgotten, and that we'll make sure they'll take care of. I can assure you that we'll still be looking at the Blossom Village, so that's not forgotten, and that will stay there. So I want to congratulate you and also my good friend from Bordentown East on their election here today. Thank you.
Thank the honourable member. The member for West Bay North.
Madam Speaker, the Goldilocks really can be seen with that horsehair on top of your head, ma'am. Madam Speaker, I still hope I'm your favorite PE teacher. But today I sit here and I thought about your father. He's proud. So are we. And let us, like we said before, we will continue to work as a team. We've been in West Bay. And just have confidence in yourself. One of your shortcomings is a lot of times you don't believe in yourself like other people do. Madam Speaker, believe in yourself. Anything is possible. You've made a lot of young women out there proud, and I've gotten texts from my family saying, get up and say something, because everyone knows I'm not one that likes to get up and speak. But on behalf of my family, on behalf of West Bay North, congratulations, and I'm sure you'll be doing a good job, and especially with the people you have at hand that can assist you as you go along this new journey. Congratulations and well done.
I thank the honourable member. No, sorry, honourable member for Cayman Brack West.
And Little Cayman.
Little Cayman.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to join voice with my colleagues of all of the congratulations that have been given to you and the new deputy. Madam Speaker, it's not lost on any of us, the movement toward youth for the leader of the legislative branch. I heard you mention it in your remarks. I thought they were very well done. And I can tell you, sitting here close and watching you deliver the remarks, I can tell this country they were from your heart. Well done. I want to say that I am thrilled to see the strength, because I'm sure as they have done to this point, you have supported her, and she's understanding and needing of it. I can tell you that we all recognize what it means to have you here today and the others that have been here with her. You're very fortunate to have a lovely family, and so proud to see them here today and know that they're going to have to be here. And as you give them strength, they will continue to give you strength. So, I also want to take just a little bit of time and say congratulations to my friend, the Honorable Dwayne Seymour, the Baden Town Rep, who works extremely hard, and congratulations on your appointment today. So, Madam Speaker, with those few words, I want to make sure that you know that congratulations are in order from not only myself, but from Cayman Brack West and Little Cayman. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. Honourable Attorney General.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, thank you. I rise to also add my congratulations. This is understandably and rightly so a very proud moment for you as you join a rich tradition in becoming Speaker of this House. You quite rightly enumerated those who have gone before, and the honourable member from Georgetown South, as well, having had the pleasure of so serving. We have our esteemed acting deputy governor with us, and as others have mentioned before, Madam Speaker, we recently celebrated the elevation of the Honourable Madam Ramsey Hale to the post of Chief Justice. And so, Madam Speaker, while other countries are wrestling with gender issues and how to recalibrate and recognize women, we can proudly proclaim that we have no such issues in the Cayman Islands. The sky is the limit, really, for our females and purely on merits. And so Madam Speaker, all the best to you during your tenure. I certainly understandably pledge the support of the AG's chambers to the Speaker. We work hand in hand, obviously, and the Constitution contemplates that. We also have the benefit of having a female clerk of the Parliament, which is also a very proud addition, if I might say so, to the construct of government. Allow me to also pay tribute to the newly elected Deputy Speaker, a man, as others have mentioned, who is very passionate about things Parliament. And he comes to this new post with all the passion and vision and energy that we are accustomed to. And so I want to wish him well as well, and you, as you both take forward the stewardship of this Parliament, which is in itself relatively new in terms of the designation. But, Madam Speaker, this is by any means a very proud moment for this country, this jurisdiction. 2022, we sadly lost our beloved Queen, but whilst we still mourn that loss, we have much to be happy about. And so we celebrate the success of yourself and others. I thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Attorney General. Now call on the Honourable Acting Deputy Governor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My remarks today will be brief. As you can probably hear, I have not much voice left. I had the privilege of being in PAC yesterday and had to speak a bit longer on that occasion. But I would not miss this chance, Madam Speaker, to add what voice I have left to congratulate you on what is a tremendous day, not only for this Parliament, but for the Cayman Islands. It has been such a pleasure to see your ascent to this chair. I am very familiar with the work that you have done as a former civil servant, the time you have been elected as a parliamentarian, and I have had the privilege of also receiving your calls, the discussions about your being a very ardent advocate for your constituents. I know firsthand, even in the midst of a hurricane, I have been in the NEOC to receive your calls and to ahead of time as you've made such preparations on behalf of your constituents. Your competence is well known, but what I was privileged to experience in that time as well, Madam Speaker, was your compassion. I've had the opportunity of sitting with you on a panel as we were talking about issues of women in leadership, and to hear your humility with which you have discussed your tremendous accomplishments, and to share with such candor the challenges that you have every day. I saw women across that audience really relating to you and being in awe, but also the way that they were able to connect. The impact that you will continue to have across these islands, but in particular for the women of these islands as you take that chair, Madam Speaker, is tremendous. And although I am here as a temporary member, I am so incredibly grateful for this opportunity to witness this day firsthand. So my sincere congratulations on behalf of the entire civil service. We look forward to continuing to work with you. Even as you lead this autonomous Parliament, you can count on our continued support. And to the elected member from Bodden Town, the Honourable Dwayne Seymour. Sir, I look forward as well to continuing to work with you and to support you. You're also a man of considerable compassion, which really is spelled out in the way that you represent the people and the way that you continue to bring around our deliberations to how this impacts the people. You never let us forget the reason why we exist. We're here to make lives better. And I know, sir, on your watch, that will continue to be our primary focus. So congratulations, Honourable Mr. Seymour. And thank you again, and congratulations, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Does any other member wish to speak? Then call on the Honourable Premier to move the motion to adjourn.
Madam Speaker, thank you. I'm very pleased that members have had the opportunity to express their congratulations, their support. This afternoon, afternoon now. From the time we began, I've heard nothing but truth, honest reflection, solidarity, unity amongst Caymanians, and that's what we're here about, Madam Speaker. We're here to represent our country, represent our people, and to make this country the best country that it can be. So I'm very proud, again, Madam Speaker, to have you in that chair, and it only remains for me, Madam Speaker, to formally move the adjournment of this Honourable House until the agreed date of the 7th of December at 10 a.m. Thank you.
The question is that this House do now stand adjourned until 10 a.m. on the 7th of December. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, no. The ayes have it. This Honourable House now stands adjourned until 10 a.m. on the 7th of December.